Happy New Year, everyone! You know that feeling, right? That sense of a fresh start? We all get it. But what if that common greeting, Happy New Year, held a meaning that was way deeper than just a hopeful wish? Today we're going to explore a perspective that transforms that simple phrase into a really profound promise. Let's get into it.
So it's that time of year when we're all thinking about change. We make resolutions, we set goals, we promise ourselves this is the year we finally do, the thing. This whole idea of a new you is just everywhere. But here's the thought. What if the most profound change isn't about what we do, but about what we're willing to receive?
And yeah, that's really the heart of this whole explainer. We're looking at how we can shift our perspective on the New Year's greeting, moving it from just a simple, hopeful wish to something much more solid, a profound promise.
Okay, so this idea is rooted in a really ancient text from the Book of Numbers. It's a prayer known as the Aaronic blessing. Now, at first glance, it might just sound like a nice, kind of old-fashioned well-wishing, but the source material we're looking at points out that the key words here, bless and peace, they carry a much heavier, much more powerful meaning.
Here's the key distinction we have to get. A wish, like saying Happy New Year, is really just a hope we send out into the world. But a blessing, in this context, it isn't a hope, it's a promise. It's the difference between just wishing for good things and being assured that, as the source puts it, God's face shines on you. That's a completely different kind of energy to start the year with.
So, here's the crucial point. This isn't passive. The source suggests we can actually receive this blessing consciously. Just think about that. It means actively choosing to let this promised peace shape your year. So instead of being driven by resolutions or anxiety, your decisions, your fears, even your relationships could be defined by this foundational calm. That's a pretty radical way to reframe how to start a new year.
So, if we're meant to receive this blessing, how do we actually process it? Well, the source points to a story from the Gospel of Luke that offers two really distinct models for how we can respond to the huge, profound moments in our lives.
First, you've got the shepherds. After a literally world-changing event, what do? The text says they hurry off to see what happened, and then they immediately start telling everyone. They announce it. This is that external response. It's all action, excitement, spreading the news. It's an energy we can all recognize.
But then there's the second response, which is Mary's. She experiences the exact same incredible event, but her reaction is the complete opposite. The source highlights this part where it says she treasured all these things and pondered them in her heart. See, she doesn't rush out, she turns inward.
So what does it even mean to ponder in this way? It's way more than just quiet thinking. According to the source, it's an active process. It's about receiving and storing what's happened, and then creating that silent space you need to interpret life's events. And that means both the good and the bad. It's the ability to hold joy and suffering together and find meaning, instead of just reacting all the time.
All right, so we've talked about receiving a blessing, and we've talked about pondering our experiences. This practice of pondering isn't just about processing the past. The source suggests it's the very thing that opens the door to something way more fundamental, a renewed sense of our own identity.
And this honestly might be the most powerful takeaway from the source material. It draws from the letter to the Galatians and suggests that the true newness of the year isn't in the date on the calendar, but in a renewed understanding of your own identity. It's an opportunity to re-anchor yourself in who you are at your very core.
So how does an identity shift this big even happen? Well, the source outlines this kind of progression of ideas. It begins with the divine entering the human experience, and this act, in turn, opens the door for people to be seen not as distant subjects, but as adopted children. The result is a new, deeply intimate relationship, one where the term Abba Father, which is a really personal term, kind of like dad, suddenly becomes possible.
And this is the final crucial shift in perspective. It's a move from living as a slave to fear or fate, constantly worried about what might happen or what you need to achieve, to living as a son or daughter, totally secure in who you are and free from all that pressure. That's a profound change in how you experience the world. So, wow, we have covered a lot of ground. What does all of this actually mean for you as you stand at the beginning of a brand new year? Let's bring it all together and nail down some takeaways.
Here are 3 core ideas to chew on from our source. First, try approaching the year ready to consciously receive a blessing of peace, not just to exchange simple wishes. Second, carve out some intentional time for quiet, to ponder, to make sense of where you've been and where you're going. And third, consider living from a new identity,
One that's rooted in freedom and security, not in fear and striving.
And that leaves us with this one last thought. We put so much pressure on ourselves with resolutions, right? These lists of things to do, habits to change. But what if we've been aiming at the wrong target this whole time? What if the most powerful thing you can do this year isn't to create a new you, but to discover the one that's already there? Something to ponder.